Hi, friends. Hello, hello. Hi, friends. Sorry I'm a little bit late today. I'm a little under the weather. I came back from my trip to Dubai, a tiny bit sick, so I'm a little bit delayed. Sorry for that. There's so much crazy, crazy stuff that's happened with Trump, who started his presidency while I was on vacation. So I couldn't talk to you guys, but today is the day that we're here and we're meeting, and we are going to talk about all the things immigration. We're going to go through what happens and all the changes and so on. So let's get right into it. Like if you're joining me just now and you're new to our channel, to our YouTube or Facebook or Instagram page, basically, I'm an immigration lawyer for 21 years, a fierce defender of immigrants. So what's happening now is just making me crazy. It's making me really upset, and I'm here to break down everything that's happening and to talk about, what to expect as much as I can understand. So look, that's what we're going to talk about today. It's a pretty obvious one because a lot of changes have happened. So that's what we're going to talk about since Trump came into the office. Some surprising things have happened, some not surprising things. So, let's go through what has changed under Trump since January 20th. And a lot of things have. By the way, while I'm starting to talk about this, please drop me in the comments where you guys are watching me from, and I'll send you a shout out. All right. So I have prepared like a whole list. All right. So here I made a list of 12 game-changing immigration policy changes, right? Game-changing changes, some new things that Trump brought to the table. End of like the first 9 days of presidency, what's been happening, what we can expect, and then I will start answering your questions and post in the comments hello to non-hero on Instagram, and I will be giving some shout out to some of my friends who are watching me here. Cheyenne says good morning. Hello, gorgeous. Good morning. Pa says good morning. Cheyenne says God bless you. Eat soup and vitamin C and vitamin D3. Thank you so much. Kwaku says hello, super lawyer Marina. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Say hello, and I'm going to start telling you the 12 changes that we're seeing since Trump took office. Number one, and by the way, this video is going to be all over of my channels. So if you're a subscriber, which I recommend you add yourself and you follow me on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, you will see these videos, not just in the live. So if you happen to miss a live, I'm recording a lot of this stuff and posting it for everybody's information. Number one is increased immigration arrests. That's a big one. So ICE is the Immigration Customs Enforcement. Enforcement means they're arresting people, the police, right? The immigration police. They were arresting, on the average, about 311 people under Biden per day. So across US, Biden had them arrest 311 people per day, mostly people with crimes, people who were convicted of crimes or did something bad, they were getting arrested, right? 1 second. Turn on do not disturb. Okay, I had to turn off my phone because people keep texting and calling. Okay, I'm back. I had to turn on do not disturb. Okay, so ICE is now averaging 720 daily arrests, so doubled the number that was happening under Trump, and they have quotas. They want to go up to 12 to 1,500 arrests a day. So they want to do times 4 the number of people that Biden had arrested, all right? So to date, over 1,000 undocumented immigrants were arrested, and over 600 of them were put in ICE jails. So we're going to see raids in major cities, on farms and restaurants and warehouses where immigrants usually work. Next, number 2, expanded enforcement agencies. So now there's a collaboration happening between FBI, Drug Enforcement Agency, CBP, and ICE. So they're all collaborating, the federal agencies. Number 3, broadened deportation priorities. So before, actually, they said priorities, meaning who is first to get deported. Like if they have 3 people they're holding, who will be the first to get deported? Before, under Biden, it was mostly people who had major crimes, not minor crimes, but like major crimes. Now it's people with any crimes, even somebody arrested, not yet proven guilty, will be top of the priority list. Anybody who's illegally in the U.S. will be prioritized to arrest and deport, not just people with deportations or people with crimes. Use of military resources, so they're using military airplanes for deportation. Diplomatic pressure on countries that are not cooperating with this deportation. And we've all seen what happened with Colombia. The president of Colombia tried to stand up to Trump, said, look, you're deporting these people in handcuffs. I'm not taking them, like trying to resist him. He immediately bullied him, threatened to raise the tariffs by 25% and then 50%, and he had to agree. So he's bullying and doing diplomatic pressure on countries to accept people getting deported back. Number 6 is ICE is now allowed to conduct raids inside schools, churches, hospitals, mosques, religious organizations, and even, this is new from last night, they're allowed to now go into immigration court, the rooms where immigration hearings are happening and the waiting rooms, and arrest immigrants even inside immigration court, which is unheard of. Number 7 is no more CBP1 app. I know I have somebody here who's always asking me what's happening at the border. The border is closed. They're not taking anybody in. They're turning away people asking for asylum at the border. All right. Next. He declared a national state of emergency at the border with Mexico to enhance security measures. He tried to end birthright citizenship. Birthright citizenship is the automatic citizenship for people born on U.S. soil. So people born in the U.S. right now automatically have a right to become citizens when they're born. He said, okay, if your mom doesn't have papers, you're not going to be a citizen. Well, that's already been struck down by a federal court that said that is unconstitutional, So that's not going to happen, but that was one of the changes he tried to bring about. Next is increase of deportation air flights, more airplanes deporting people, plus use of military planes. Next, EOIR is changing the instructions for practicing in immigration courts, right? And priority of removal for those who entered in the last 2 years. So first people to be deported, he said, should be the people who entered in the last 2 years under the Biden's program where they opened the borders and you could ask for asylum through CBP or at the border. So those people are going to be the first to go. These actions show a really big shift in the U.S. immigration enforcement sphere landscape. And we are seeing where this administration is going. I hear that 75% of U.S. farm workers did not show up to work today. And I expect them to be afraid and not show up to work. We had clients calling in the last couple of days saying they haven't left the house in 9 days. They're afraid. So if you are seeing the prices for everything from eggs to fruit and vegetables is going to triple, it's because immigrants are going to not come to work anymore in fear of getting deported. And guess who's doing cheap labor in the restaurants and the farms everywhere? Immigrants. So, you know, let's see. So people keep asking me, well, what do I do, Marina? I'm waiting for asylum. I'm waiting for T visa. I'm waiting for VAWA. First, I have bad news for you. I cannot stop ICE from deporting you or arresting you. It doesn't seem like to them the fact that you are waiting for something is a reason. They could say, you know what, go back to your country and wait for it there. It's possible, and there's not much we can do, but we're going to be fighting them every step of the way. So carry your documents with you. Carry your receipt notices, your USCIS receipt notices, proof that you're in status with you everywhere. Set some money aside to get a lawyer for fighting detention. Make arrangements for your family. If you have kids, who the kids will be with, who gets to be guardian over them if you get arrested and, God forbid, deported. This is terrible. I want to cry when I talk to you guys about this, but you have to be like prepared. Make sure that you have our information and that your family has a lawyer's information to call in case you get stopped. I don't know what else to say. That's it. That's all I can say to you. Let's start to answer your questions here. D says, good morning. Please, can you tell me if I get my I-601A approved and my case is at NVC, can I put a hold on it until Trump leaves office? Thanks in advance. I don't think you can hold it for more than 1 year. And Trump is going to be here for 4 years. So I'm not sure. Quasi says, good morning, Marina. I have a work permit, no criminal record. Please, am I at risk of deportation? Everyone right now is at risk for deportation. Specialist says, a single person who entered 7 months ago with humanitarian parole, can he qualify for expedited deportation? Yes. People who entered in the last 2 years are now high priority for expedited deportation. Damien says, in text messages, is it a must for marriage green card evidence for adjustment of status? I already have other strong evidence and wedding and a church reception pictures. We have affidavits. It's not necessary, no. Good morning from Herman Wambo. Good morning. Nasir says, good morning, ma'am. I just take a glass of warm water after every 2 hours. Thank you for me to feel better. Thank you so much. Viswanathan says, good morning. If an L1 premium petition is filed, when can I expect a receipt approval? When the final approvals and visa appointments for Chennai, can I anticipate by the end of March for all processes to complete? By the end of March? Probably not. Maybe like April or May. Herman Wombo says, I have my asylum interview I had a year ago. I still have not received my decision. I'm planning to file a lawsuit, but want to know if it's going to affect negatively the decision. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Keto says, hey, Marina, how's it going? We missed here in Miami and trying to fly back to New York. I have a pending VAWA. Is it okay to fly domestically? I really don't know right now. This is such a time of transition. I think it's okay. I was just in the airport the other day. I don't think they're checking anybody's status in the airport for domestic flights. So I think you're okay. Cheyenne says, if somebody crosses the U.S. border illegally, they're arrested in jail. Then they can't apply for asylum for 90 days. Can they apply for asylum after 90 days? You can apply for asylum even in jail. I don't know what this rule comes about the 90 days. You can apply immediately. Jason Garcia says, I was arrested for misdemeanor and domestic violence. For the domestic violence was dismissed. And my spouse was charged. So I was arrested, but my charges were dismissed. Am I going to get arrested? Probably not, since everything was dismissed. On Facebook, Haas Abi says, after submitting my medical in response to RFE, I received the approval notice for the I-485, but online says the case was reopened. What does that mean? You're fine. They probably reopened it and then approved your I-485. You're in good shape. Do I think, wants to know Janet, they will get rid of the I-601A waiver? Probably not. I don't think so. Sean Gordon says, is it okay to travel on my cargo card? I think so. I think it's okay for now. Then I haven't heard anything that it's not okay. Maggie says, good morning. If somebody is awaiting court proceedings for master hearing at risk. Yes. Yes. Everybody's at risk right now. Sadly, everyone is at risk. All right, let me go to my Instagram questions here. Okay. I have to scroll here. Hello from Jeremy in China. Hello from the lady that I met on the express bus. Hi. Sherman Mahalan said, hi, good morning. When did they file for an I-130 petition and not yet approved? Can they deport the person? Yes, they can. They can't deport anybody right now. If you don't have approved license, approved status, you're at risk. Are people with pending asylum interview at risk? I think so. I think everybody's at risk. But once they arrest you, I think that what they're doing to people with pending asylum, they will arrest you and immediately give you a credible fear of interview. If you pass that, you're going straight into court expedited removal. So you will still get a chance. You'll get a judge, but it's going to be much faster. You're not going to have to wait as long. Gitu wants to know if they're still considering expediting requests. Yes, even now they're considering that. Amir says, hi, I applied for a refugee travel document. I did the fingerprints for it in December. When did you think I can get the refugee travel document? Is it safe to travel? If you already have your refugee or asylum status, you're approved. It is safe to travel, and it takes about 9 months to a year to receive it. Spartak says, I received my third prima facie termination. I'm waiting for VAWA. Am I in danger to be picked up? Anybody who does not have approved status right now, who's just like in pending, waiting status, seems to be at risk for getting picked up. However, hopefully, if they pick you up, they're going to release you and you're not going to like ICE detention or jail unless you have criminal conviction. Jazzy says submit RFE for medical receipt. Oh, yeah, we did this already. Nas says, what is the current backlog for I-765 work permit? Like about a year to a year and a half. Maggie says, what does it mean holding a receipt or letter to a PM court won't stop them from the deporting? Okay, so if you have a pending hearing for asylum, you're waiting for hearing, they will arrest you, for example, and they will give you a credible fear interview right away. You're gonna have to prove, like on the spot, your case. If you can't show that you have a credible fear of returning, they will probably deport you. If not, then you will go to court for an expedited court hearing. Cheyenne says Trump issued a new executive order on January 27th, stopping asylum applications for 90 days. This is at the border. So for 90 days, people cannot file for asylum at the border. It's not all asylum. It's only asylum at the border. Yes, they're turning away people. They're saying he told them for 90 days while it's transitioning, you cannot ask for asylum at the Clement Sarfo says about pending case of yeah, so if you don't have status yet, the case is pending, you're at risk. Asi says, my wife lives in US and she did upgrade my case to F2A category. True. I have one category since I guess she became a citizen in the last 2 months, and I didn't receive my approval yet. And our PD was granted in June. Okay, so we just have to wait, unfortunately, waiting. What is this? Good morning, my sister. I applied the I-130 for my parents. No response. It's been about 300 days. And she wants to apply for food stamps because that affected the parents' application. Um, I would not, under this administration, apply for food stamps if you're in a family unification case. And it takes about a year and a half for the parents' case. Okay? So until she gets a green card, please, I would stay away from public benefits like food stamps. Okay. Okay. Next. Um, Wolftown Demi says, I have a work authorization. It's good for 5 years. Am I at risk for deportation? So it looks like under the new Trump's reality, anybody who does not have yet approved status, if you don't have asylum yet, you're just like pending, you are at risk for getting deported. So, just be careful out there. Okay. What else? Her SM says, hello. If a person crossed the border using CBP 3 years ago, are they at risk of deportation? Well, I assume they're waiting for the court hearing for 3 years. They're the same risk as everyone else who doesn't have approved status yet. It's not like special risk. It's not like more than others. Fatak says, I was in detention, got out on bond 7 years ago. Never had any issues since then, so I guess no crimes. And still have my case in immigration court. I was married to U.S. citizen, filed VAWA 3 years ago, got my prima facie and 4 times, and I don't have an RFE yet. You have to wait. There's nothing I can advise you to do right now. You are at the same risk of getting deported since you don't have status as everyone else. But since this is 7 years ago, not in the last 2 years, I don't think you're like at a higher risk than other people. You're just like the same type of risk as everyone. Uh, so that's what I have. All right. So what else? Let's see. And guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the new reality of Trump. In the beginning, if you tuned in earlier, I already went over the 12 game-changing things that Trump had brought into the system. We discussed how there's a lot more immigration arrests, how there's no more asylum at the border for at least 90 days. They're not going to give anybody asylum at the border. No more CBP1 app. They closed that down. No more PD. So I know a lot of people here talk about how they got PD. PD is when you could ask the trial attorneys, the attorneys who work for ICE, to agree with your lawyer to administratively close or even dismiss your case. They're no longer allowed to do that. So that's gone. However, you can still ask the judge directly. But before, we were able to get an agreement between the two sides. Your lawyer and the government's lawyer agreed. You could email them ahead of time and say, look, my guy has a son who's going to become a U.S. citizen in 2 years. He will be able to get a green card. No crimes here, no arrest. Let him go. And they did let a lot of people go just to clear their calendars. But that's ended. No more of that. Declared national emergency at the border. Tried to end automatic birthright citizenship for kids born here, but a judge in federal court already struck that down. There's been like over 30 30 lawsuits already against Trump in the last 8 days to stop some of this nonsense that's happening. He declared a national emergency at the border. He called gangs, terrorist organizations, and people who entered in the last 2 years are now like on top of the list, along with people who have crimes for deporting. So that's what we discussed earlier in the show. Let me answer some more of your questions. Spartak says, thank you very much. Get well soon. And you are here for people. Thank you so much. If you want to help me and you love me and you watch me here, find my firm. Just put law offices of Marina Shepelsky on Google and leave me a 5-star review, you guys. That would be super helpful. I have a lot of awesome followers and friends here who watch me every week. That would really help me. I can even post, if you'd like, on YouTube here, the link so that you could just click on it. But if you can't find it, just Google Marina Shepelsky Law Office, Brooklyn, and go to the page for reviews, right? That would really help us. 1 second. I'm gonna post reviews. Okay, I'm gonna post right here the link for leaving us a good 5-star review. Okay, and same on Instagram. I'm gonna post in the comments. You could copy paste it and leave us a review. Okay, next question. Thank you very much to Spartak. Thank you. Ahmed says, can somebody travel after I-131 is approved, but before they get the advance parole in hand? No, absolutely not. You cannot travel until you hold your advance parole in your hands, okay? Cheyenne says, so if somebody's already inside US and they have to apply for asylum. Yes, you could still apply for asylum right now. It's at the border that they stop. Gordon says, I also have a friend who's been married for 3 years with a US citizen person, but she has no status. She's separated with her spouse. Will she get deportation? File for VAWA. Have them call. It's probably a good reason why they're separated. They probably didn't get treated good by their US citizen spouse. We can help. Marion says, if somebody has an asylum pending with USCIS and if the 6 months period B1B2 is overstayed, are they deported if US has a rate? Yes, anybody who is not approved for status, who is pending status, meaning they're waiting their status, is at risk for getting deported now. Ahmed says, can somebody travel? Okay, so I did this. Shaki says, my spouse was in file for my green card. Yes, yes, I can. Street Ball says, hi, my VAWA was approved in May 2024. Congratulations. But my I-35 is still pending. Can I travel? So if your VAWA was approved already, you are non-deportable and you can travel. You're in good shape. You're actually not going to be deported. D says, how long military parole in place takes over? A few months. Shanann says, you are the best. I feel bad for those who haven't subscribed to your page and turned on notifications yet. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's really sweet of you. Thank you. Wow, that's really sweet. I'm sorry, I have to do something really quick here. Okay. How long does it take to get approval when your case is moving to your local office, USCIS, for final adjudication? It depends. In New York, it could take like 3 years still. In some other places, a lot less time. Nasir says, I'm in the US for 6 years. I have a F4 visa. And if I apply for naturalization this time, and now I have a green card. Okay, so you do have a green card. If I apply for naturalization this time, will there be bad impact on my application because of Trump's current deportation campaign? Okay, so if you have a green card for 5 years, you should be fine to get citizenship. It's not much worse right now for that. Now this is what about family-based immigration? Only I-130 is approved, and I'm waiting for my interview for the I-485. Am I still at risk? Should I carry receipts with me? Yes, you are a little bit at risk, but hopefully everything will be okay. You definitely should be carrying the receipt for whatever case you have pending. Carry the receipt, carry the prima facie approval, carry all of that with you. Have that on your person, original receipt, and copies at home. Okay. Hoda says, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Kid Chuck says, pending asylum for 5 years. Out of status 5 years before I file for asylum. Green card available to my mom, who's a lawful permanent resident. Am I okay to travel on the advance parole for my consular processing and return to the US? Or what are my options? You should not travel. Absolutely not. You need to stay here and finish up with your asylum case. Your LPR mom petition is not going to help you because you had an overstay for 5 years, you said. So your mom's petition will not get you a green card. Asylum is the way to go. Arham's lifestyle says, is there any chance for the ones who have a work permit but can't travel? Adjustment to status will be in the US for the last 20 years. I mean, you know, um, travel doesn't help you. So there is a chance you got to stick with whatever case you have. TPT Flyboy says, should I renew my DACA work permit and also for a work permit application through my pending I-485? Yes, you should do both. This year says 19 years green card I have. It's good until 2028. Yeah, you should apply for citizenship. 10 years. Yes, so you should apply if you had it. Wait, so if your green card is from 2018, yes, you should get it. Absolutely. Rule jar says my asylum was approved on November 6, 2024 in immigration court. I have an I-94 with asylum status that is indefinite. I received. Is it good standing with you? Yes, you're safe from deporting. You have asylum. You're safe. Okay? Oh, it says I was out of status for 45 days, not 5 years. Oh yeah. No, you're not safe because a pending asylum does not give you status so that the unlawful presence is forgiven. The over 45 days at a time for the purpose of getting a green card through your resident mom, you were considered illegal all the time that you're waiting for asylum. So it's not helping you at all. I'm telling you. Okay? Uh, my sister had an interview with her husband last month in December, but her case is now turned into actively reviewed. The interview, nothing has changed. You gotta be patient and wait. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Okay, last two questions on Instagram, and we're gonna say bye until next Wednesday. Her SM says, what are the main differences between EB2 and EB3 visa? EB2, you have to prove advanced degree, and then you have some sort of, like very unique, outstanding, very good talents and abilities. EB3 is like for regular people with a good higher education. So EB2 is like a much higher professional standard. You are 1 in 100. EB3 is you're like the other 100. Okay, just to give you like the general idea. And then the case says in March 2023, USCIS received my I-360 widow petition and wrote to me that it's under review. How long do I have to wait? Sometimes it takes 3 years. So you might have to wait some more. Thank you everyone for watching. If you love me and you want to do something nice for me, please leave us a good Google review, 5 stars, and you can talk about how you listen to me, if I've ever helped you with anything. That would be really great. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next Wednesday. Let's all stay safe, and I hope everybody here watching stays safe. Thank you.